I'm joined here today by the one, the only Brian Boom Kelleher, coming off that, like we said, boom, the big knockout this past weekend, UFC Jacksonville. What's going on, man? How are you?
Man, how's it?
Everything's going well, man. We're surviving in quarantine. The hair's finally growing back, so things are good, man.
I could say the same, but
Yeah, yeah, that's right. No, don't want to bring up a sore subject, but it suits you well, man. So that's the positive.
yeah, that's true. And Darren Twitter saying something like kind of bull.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that, and I noticed that you said, I have no idea what you're saying. I had no idea either, but it sounded good. Like it sounded like he was happy for you.
So,
Right, that was excellent. We saw that he posted that meme where he photoshopped your face, knocking him out. What did you think when you saw that?
oh my God, that was funny too. But it had exposure for me, so I liked it, and I thought it was cool. Like, dude, another meme with like his face, but with my beard, like my facial structure, but his face. It
Yeah.
was hilarious.
But so, what's the exposure like right now? I assume social media has blown up to the point where it's tough to log on and check everything in the morning.
Yeah, it's hard to catch up on all the messages, for a lot of random people, different fans and stuff reaching out, which is really cool. I try to get to as many as I can, but sometimes it's overwhelming with all the social media platforms.
And so, is this like the biggest your social media has blown up? Because obviously, in knockout, you get a different reaction than any other result.
Yeah, I think so, man. My last fight, it blew up a pretty good amount, but this fight, I think it took off a little bit more. I noticed a bigger explosion on Instagram and Twitter, and a lot more messages for sure.
And so, what do you have to do with this now? Because obviously, you have to capitalize on sponsorships and everything. What do you have to do to capitalize on all the extra attention?
You know what you got to do is you got to keep active on social media. You got to stay up with things. You got to get creative with different ways to, get attention going and different things. I think I did a great job with the OMalley call out.
Right.
Someone see that picture with the joint with his face on the end of it. I thought that was brilliant and that was cool. So I posted that up, and you kind of got to just keep your name out there in the media, and I'm taking all the interviews I can and,
Right.
and trying to stay active. So
Yeah, you mentioned the call out. It was excellent. I wasn't able to see it live, but when I saw the call out the next day, I was like, "Oh shit, that's perfect." The way you constructed it. Did you think of that ahead of time, or did that just fly off the dome?
no, I thought of that ahead of time, but I don't like to obsess over the future too
Right.
much because you got to live in the present. I had to face Hunter, who was a really tough guy. So I was actually surprised that I remembered that perfectly after a knockout. I had a lot of adrenaline. I was all hyped up, but it just came to me, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to say this right now. You got to take advantage of your mic time, if you want to get what you ask for. So that's what I did over there.
100%. Did it feel good getting that knockout and then saying the line? Because we saw that O'Malley was saying, Brian, it might not be good for me, but you got this attention now. People are looking at you. Is that going to help you get that fight?
Yeah, I knew for sure because I'm fighting another contender series guy. The guy's undefeated. He has not lost in both amateur and professional. I think this guy was like 17 and or something
Yeah.
total. So I had I was fired up to give him his first loss, and I thought it made me look even better the fact that he never had lost. So and the whole contender series theme, and O'Malley came off the contender series. So I know they're trying to, somewhat protect this guy and give him favorable matchups, and I understand, but let's give him a real test now, and I think I'm the guy to do it.
For sure. What would a win over Sean O'Malley, what would that do for your career? Because we saw what this did. I assume Sean O'Malley, that puts you, right up there with the best of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not a ranked guy by any means. He's not like a title
Right.
contender type guy. But I think beating a guy like him really builds my fan base, really explodes my name in the sport. It really will reignite my whole career. That's what I need right now. I'm not really in a position where they're going to give me a top 10 or anything like that. Maybe one or two more wins and I'm there. But I think beating him along the way just puts me in such a great position, especially business wise.
And we talked about Darren Till earlier, but super important question that people are going to be mad if I don't ask. But did he follow you back on social media? Because it looked like, rightfully so. You're like, hey, man, you could follow somebody back. Did he finally do it?
I gotta check if he did it. I think he follows me on Instagram, but I don't think he follows me on Twitter. I gotta check because it was on Twitter that I said that.
Right.
So we'll see if he clicked the follow over there.
Yeah, it'd be disappointing because we see him putting the memes, calling you boom, giving you the attention, but it's like if you can't even follow me back, man, like it doesn't feel real.
I know. It's like, come on, at least give me the follow. I need a little. I need one more. I need to add to these numbers, man.
Right. But listen, let's talk about the fight itself. I feel like we talked about everything but the fight. The knockout, I mean, it was especially good. We saw the left hook come out there. It's one of those knockouts where when you see it for the first time, you're like, oh shit. What went through your mind when you landed that punch and you see him, go out like that?
Well, like those knockout punches, like you don't feel them as much as other punches. It hits the perfect part of the knuckles. It's the perfect timing. So it's almost like hard to explain. It's just like crisp,
Yeah.
like a crisp, like fast little feeling where you don't feel as much impact. And I felt that feeling like, man, that's the one. Like I see him kind of falling back, and I'm like, I definitely hurt him bad there. I see it in his eyes. I'm standing over him, looking at him. I don't really want to inflict more damage because I see that he's out of it, but the ref didn't step in yet, so I kind of had to follow up with those hammer fists.
And a lot of fighters, they've described it like punching through jello. Was it similar to that at all, or was your experience a little bit different? Like, I mean, you mentioned that crisp feeling.
Yeah, it's a good analogy like that. It's kind of like that. I'm trying to think of a better one. I don't know if I can, but yeah, it's like punching something that's not hard necessarily, but it kind of goes through it with ease, and you just know right there, like, oh, I got him good.
And so a lot of fighters, they're out there, they're in the zone. A lot of them have said like muscle memory takes over. When you land that punch and you see him go down, do you kind of stop being in the zone and do things kind of come back in real time where you realize like you have to make a conscious decision as to what's next?
Yeah, it's interesting that whole sequence, because you can't really acknowledge your work at that moment. Like, oh wow, look, I got him with that big left
Right.
hook. Like, I gotta be ready to kill still. I gotta know what if he gets up or what if he's not as rocked as I think, and I don't want to lose that opportunity to jump on him and finish the fight. So for me, I'm always like a shark in there. Like if I see blood, like I'm going in. I'm going for that kill. So I knew I had to follow up. But yeah, it was interesting. I wanted that walk off knockout like
Yeah.
Mark Hunt style, and I feel like I was kind of robbed of that a little bit, because the referee didn't step right in. But I mean, it was still a really devastating knockout.
For sure. And there is one thing I'm curious about. We saw you for a good stretch. You were trying to be sort of in the MMA media. We saw you land on shows like the MMA Beat. You were doing good things with James Lynch. What's your goal for this MMA media? Are you trying to be an analyst like on ESPN, or are you trying to be like where we are, sort of at that level? What's your goal, sort of, for MMA media?
I don't have a clear cut end goal with that, but I know for sure I'd like to stick in the sport and stay with it and be a part of that. I think I definitely have a place in the media, with the fighter's eyes, the fighter's perspective. Like that's my whole vision. So I would love to kind of figure out where I fit in that realm. I'm not quite sure yet, but ESPN would obviously be the height of all
Right.
heights. An analyst behind the desk would be great. I'm sure that would be nerve wracking doing something different, but I'm starting to get used to it. I'm putting my time in behind the camera and with the mic and everything. So I really I don't know really I don't know if I have to fill out applications or what, but hey, if you're out there and you're looking for a new addition, I'm your guy.
For sure. You'd be talking to the wrong guys. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but I feel like you do have a big future because you do bring something very different with the fact that you're a fighter and you have that experience.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I try to stay consistent with my YouTube channel with the boom breakdowns and everything. And I know that's like a route towards that. But it's hard to do it independently. I think for me it'd be nice if I can kind of get my way into like a big company where they already have a big following and a big name and kind of work my way up like that.
100%. I feel you because that's that's the same thing for us too. We're looking at that, but is this something that you want to do post career, or is that something that you're trying to set up right now? What's sort of the goal with that?
Well, I mean, mostly post career, but I'm willing to jump in at least part time right now. I just know fighting takes all of your focus, and I don't want to. give myself any kind of
Right.
distractions while I'm trying to be the best fighter in the world. You know, it takes a toll, and a lot of, physical, mental, everything. So it's hard to really take on other things. You know, a lot of people ask me about the music and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, I know I have like talent with music, and I write a lot and I do it on my downtime, but I don't do music like I do fighting, with all of my heart, all my passion. I'm in the studio all day. That's all I do is eat, sleep, drink music. That's how you make it.
Right.
You have to focus 100%. So, yeah, I would think more so for after fighting.
And so there are a lot of people on Twitter. They're saying that, man, these fighters who make music like yourself, like Tyron Woodley, they want to know, why don't you guys choose your own songs as like your walkout songs? Is that a reason for that, or is it just something you don't really think about?
Falling in and out of love, in and out of love
There it
with
is.
you.
Gotta love it.
I gotta pitch that
one Hundred
song.
percent.
Um, yeah, no, the walkout music, that is for sure like the next step. I have to do that because I don't know why I haven't that yet. I just feel like I haven't made that real like exciting like song that makes
Right.
me amped up to fight. I haven't made that yet. I think that should be something I focus on right now while I'm healing. I have like some stitches in my toes actually from the fight. So I'm kind of I can't really train right now, so I should might as well take advantage of the time
Right.
with the music. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna work on some, just focus on a really cool entrance song. Even if I have like a feature, maybe another rapper on there that kind of blows it up a little bit
Tyron
more.
Woodley.
Yeah, he would. He could be in the back with the hook, falling in out of love.
For sure.
But I think, if I can make an entrance song that the UFC will also get behind that, and they'll be like,
Yeah.
hey, like this is, Brian Kelleher is walking out to his own song right now. Check it out. You know what I mean? So that's definitely the next step.
But in this case, does it have to be I mean, it kind of has to be a diss track, right? Like, you're dissing your opponent as you're walking out. I feel like that's kind of how it has to be.
I mean, yeah, the thing with a diss track though, it's like almost like talking real trash to someone. It builds a lot of pressure on your own shoulders.
Right.
You have
That's
to
true.
back it up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I don't like to talk a lot of shit because you're putting more pressure on yourself sometimes when you do that. I like to have fun with it. I mean, me saying like roll up Sean O'Malley in a joint, I'm gonna smoke his ass. Like that's not really talking a lot of
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
That's just being like witty and funny with the call out. So I like to be more like that, but I feel like if I do fight him, it would be a smart business move to make a diss track on him. So we'll have to look into that.
For sure. I feel like if you do make a diss track for Sean O'Malley, maybe I could get a mention as the guy who brought it up. I mean, just sliding that your way. But listen, let's just end it here. If Sean O'Malley is watching, what's your message for Sean if you have anything you want to say to him?
Yeah, we'll throw you in there. We'll throw Lucas in there.
Yes, sir.
Um, my message for Sean O'Malley is like, hey man, let's step up and take this fight. I've been calling you out for quite some time now. I know he wants to test himself. He said, maybe I'm not the number in the rankings that he's looking for, but I'm definitely a veteran in the sport with a lot of wins against a lot of tough guys. So I think if he wants to prove himself and he's not scared, he'll take the fight.
All right, there we go. That's all we have to say. Thank you so much for the time, Brian. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the victory. It was a good one, and enjoy it, man.
Boom. Thank you.